System Man and Cybernetics International Conference 2024 or SMC 2024. Okay, myself, Syed Abdurrahman Al-Haddad, will be the chairperson for this session, which is, we have a keynote from the Dr. Ming. Okay. Before I proceed, I'd like you to watch the safety precaution from the venue Borneo Convention Center, Kuching. Please watch the video. Thank you.
Borneo Convention Center Kuching, BCCK, the first internationally recognized convention center in Sarawak, is currently the largest premier event space of East Malaysia. At BCCK, we observe strict health and security protocols to ensure the safety and well-being of all guests while meeting the needs of each event. Our staff are trained to respond in any emergency situation. Please remain attentive and take note of our fire alarms and security warnings. Should the fire alarm sound, do not panic and calmly evacuate the building by proceeding to the nearest emergency exit. During an evacuation, do not use the elevators or escalators. Always exit via the stairways. Floor wardens will direct all guests and staff to the emergency assembly areas. Please note that all areas within the building are a non-smoking zone. Smoking is only permitted within designated areas. The first aid room is located on level 2. At BCCK, your well-being is important to us. Thank you for your kind attention.
Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and participants to SMC 2024. It's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this exciting keynote session titled The Next Stage of Evolution, Interaction-Centered Design for Trustworthy Human AI Teaming. Today, we are privileged to hear from one of the leading minds in the field, Dr. Ming. Dr. Hao is a principal scientist in a recognized authority in human technology interactions at the Department of National Defense, Canada. His work is pivotal in delivering cutting-edge technological solutions, science-based advice, and evidence-based policy recommendations, particularly in AI and autonomy, to senior decision-makers within Canada's national defense and international organizations such as the United Nations. As the Canadian national leader in human AI autonomy teaming, Dr. Hao directs innovation ecosystem in numerous capability development programs, supporting major acquisition projects and international joint exercises. His leadership extends to co-chairing the Human Autonomy Teaming Specialist Committee, where he spearheads the development of international standards for integrating AI-enabled autonomous systems into civilian airspaces. Dr. Hao's outstanding contributions have earned him the prestigious Department of National Defense Science and Technological Excellence Award in 2020 and the President's Achievement Award of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada in 2021. Moreover, he is an IEEE Fellow, a distinguished lecturer, and the General Chair of the 2024 IEEE International Conference on Human-Machine System. In addition to his groundbreaking work, Dr. Hao also shares his knowledge as an adjunct professor at the University of Toronto and the University of Calgary, shaping the next generation of scholars in this ever-evolving field. We are indeed fortunate to have Dr. Howe with us today to shed light on the future of human AI teaming and the importance of interaction-centered design in building trust within these complex systems. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Ming Howe.
Well, thank you so much, Professor Syed, for the kind of introduction and invitation. Should I share my screen now? Okay, let's do that. Can you see my screen? Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes, good. I think you can
Okay,
see
good.
your slide.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
Can you move to the next slide? I try to make sure that you have a correct.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, you can proceed.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to SMC 2024. And it's really truly my pleasure to share our work in the area of basically methodologies as interaction-centered design, ICD, for building and maintaining trustworthy human AI teaming. In the next half hour, I'll talk about what methodology for. Basically, as human AI symbiosis, it's about what? For AI-enabled social technical systems. And why we do that? Because we realize some issues when we team human with technologies such as AI, autonomy, and robots. And what this methodology is for us as researchers, designers, and practitioners. And in interaction design methodology, I'm going to explain how we're going to address those issues with ICD guidance. And also, I'll explain to you with an example about where and when to apply the methodology for real-world applications towards responsible and collaborative human AI symbiotic partnership. Basically, I'm trying to address W5 plus question. So first of all, when we say AI, as this slide shows, based on World Economic Forum, AI and robotics are the two representative fourth industrial revolution technologies in our society now. Almost everywhere, we all know buzzword AI, ChatGPT, robotaxi, etc. That's where we are. So talk about technologies. Let's review what transformation has brought us in terms of how we live, work, and socialize through all the four industrial revolutions. First of all, in the beginning of the 19th century, with the introduction of machine power and etc., mechanization, so society was brought from agrarian one to urbanization. And later on, last century, we went into industrialization with different technologies in terms of electricity, airplanes, chemical, fertilizer, etc. We had mass production. So we entered into really the modern world. And then this century, we are in the third industrial revolution, which is digital revolution. As we all know, we have electronics, computers, internet. That's why we are connected now through the internet, right? Automation, information and communication technology, etc. So we are embracing globalization. That's why we are in the two sides of the globe that we are talking to each other through the internet. Now we are in this human cyber physical system, right? Physically and virtually. Those technologies like AI, autonomy, Internet of Things, quantum computing mixed reality, and symbolic technology, etc. Really, they are empowering human. Over the centuries, with the industrial revolutions, we are increasing the productivities of our society by enhancing human capabilities. Right now, we even implement chips in our brain. So technology really becomes embedded within society, but also within our human bodies. Just as this image shows you, based on the book Singularity is Near, we are at the epic number 5, evolving human capabilities from physics and chemistry to biology, brains, technology. Now we are in the merge of technology and human intelligence, say machine intelligence or artificial intelligence. So we are at this stage, then it reminds us, the emission of the pioneer for internet and then AI in the last century, in the 1960s, leak lighter about symbiosis, man and computer. Now it becomes reality to us. Really, we have human AI symbiosis. So the society is full of AI-enabled social technical systems. We have so much or so many. But take here example with embedded, chips to increase our human capacity, brain capacity. We can control a swarm of drones with mind. Recently, we have demonstrated that, not myself, the society has demonstrated the control of over 10,000 drones in Shenzhen, China. But then in near future, we can control those, 10,000 drones with our mind. So technology really enhancing human capabilities, but also increasing our capacity. However, it also brings in the complexity to the system if we take the system approach. So the industrial revolutions increase our productivity, enhance our capabilities, and also increase our cognitive capacity. However, it also increased the system complexity, as we can imagine. Then what's the consequence? So here I'm going to talk about some issues when we, integrate human with the technology together, about teaming between human and AI, autonomy, and robot. This image shows, over the past 300 million years, our human brain capacity has grown only 2.5 times. So that's how we evolve as human. We are really behind the technology advancement, and it brings some problem for us. So in this slide, it shows a diagram, 2 bars, result of the study conducted by Boeing 21 years ago in year 2003. It compared the causes of aviation accident from the beginning of the human aviation history, beginning of last century. The majority, 80% of the cause of the accidents were due to machine issues, either mechanical, hardware, software, etc. So only 20% caused by human errors. However, 100 years later, 21 years ago from now, the major causes was due to human. So the ratio reversed, partially because we rely on too much technology with a complex social technical system. We all trust technology. With the AI, here is an example of the consequence if we overtrust or have not validated AI algorithm. I'd like you to read that. Basically, 7 years ago, in 2017, the UK government found a problematic algorithm they have not detected for 9 years, caused hundreds of women missed their breast cancer screening, and then some of them died. Even though they found the problem, they still cannot fix it over time. And then the cost UK government about 100 million pounds to compensate. But it's not about the compensation, it's about the loss of human lives. So this example of the problem with the AI, if we cannot validate it, if we overtrust technology. But here is another example about the bias. We know that in order for AI algorithm or model works, we have to train it. So here example how MIT AI machine called Norman was trained. Basically, Norman was fed with very negative images. And later on, they went through a psychological test to see what the result. As shown in the table, the middle column, the images for testing, the left column is about the result of the standard AI sees. But the red column, as you can see, very negative result. So it tells us the danger of bias and prejudice, because no one only responds in horror, and it's how he was trained. Well, just like how we train our kids in school. If we always feed them negative stuff, they will never learn positive stuff. It tells us how can we regulate human error bias in AI. And even worse, the image on the right corner, top corner, is very famous AI robot called Sophia. Some years ago, she was granted a citizenship by Saudi Arabia. It's the first one in the human kind in the world. However, during one of the first interviews, she mentioned that she wants to destroy humans. So it reminds again, if we don't take this seriously, the Terminators not far from us. Like Stephen Hawking reminded us before he left the world, AI can transform or destroy our society. If we are successful, we are careful, AI can definitely transform our society. However, if we not be prepared, we cannot avoid the risks. AI could be the worst event in the history of human civilization. So if we don't care, if we're not careful, then something badly happened to us. Even though, given the aviation status I just talked about from Boeing study, here an example, 7 years ago, actually 15 years ago, with Air France Flight 447, they had a deadly crash in 2009 because the malfunctioning sensor triggered autopilot, and then the cockpit didn't tell the reality of, or didn't display the reality of what's happening, so caused the misunderstanding of the human pilot. When they found it out, it became too late, and it resulted in loss of 228 lives due to, first of all, the lack of sufficient knowledge about complexity of human-machine interactions and disregard the proper design guidance. This is only one example I'm talking about now. We include that into our book, Intelligent Adaptive Systems. And then there are many of these similar accidents, as Boeing study reviewed over 100 years. So we thought we learned from our mistakes with the price of human lives over the past over 100 years, actually over 120 years already now, right? However, 9 or 10 years later from Air France deadly crash. I think most of you, if not all of you, know about this story about Boeing 37 MAX crashes within 5 months with loss of 346 lives because of the malfunctioning or uncontrollable AI-enabled system we called Maneuvering Characteristic Augmentation System, MCAS. So history is all changed. As the philosopher Hegel pointed out, the only thing for humankind to learn from history is that we learn nothing from history. So what happened to the MCAS, as this the image on the right hand of this slide shows how MCAS works. I read the introductory report. Basically, one of the 5 main reasons for the deadly crash of Boeing 737 MAX, one is the faulty assumption for design. The design team thought that human pilots can recognize and override a malfunctioning of a system of systems, which is MCAS, within a few seconds. So it completely disregarded the complexity of human-machine interaction, the details, how we interact with machine, especially during emergency situation. And this story, actually, we also did our own study and included that story and our analysis in our book, first example, in terms of human-machine interface design, the aircraft accident. And then a year later, Hollywood brought this story up to the big screen across the globe. The movie called Miracle Landing in Hudson River. In Chinese called Sali Jidang. Anyhow, what happened, I think most of you know, and how I'm going to repeat that. So after the aircraft took off, they collected birds, migrating bird, a kind of group of birds, and damaged the dual engines. So the aircraft lost the power. And then the pilot, which is the Captain Sally, Tom Hanks, played a really great role here, representing Captain Sally in the movie. During the investigation in the movie, I strongly recommend you to watch this movie. So he indicated that he needed few seconds, or not a few minutes, not seconds, to figure out what's going on, to figure out what's the status of the aircraft with loss of dual engines, loss of power. He has to control manually, and then understand what's going on with the passengers and his crew members, and now more importantly about the environment, or where he can land in the middle of New York, close to Manhattan. So eventually he landed beautifully in the Hudson River, as the picture shows, and saved 155 people. It shows that the control mode from beginning of human on the loop supervising what the autopilot or the aircraft does to the manual control, human in the loop. This is about interactions during an emergency. So it's not about few seconds. Human can recognize and override the system, take over the control and authority of the control. Basically, human need more time because, as I indicated earlier, that human capacity, brain capacity, we have limitations. We need more time to digest the information, to understand the situation, have situation awareness, and take action, make decisions, and take actions. So this reminds us the complexity and real transition about human interaction, as this diagram shows. At the beginning, you can work with the say assistant, let's say like at the coordination level, at the y-axis shows about the range of human-machine interactivity, and you don't need to communicate quite often. So basically, you are taking a passive mode. You are on the loop supervising your assistant, doing work for you. And you can come up with a cooperation, cooperate with your associate together, and then gradually come into the collaboration mode, more actively working with your colleagues, your peers, even your supervisor. So decision control can come from the on the loop, in the loop, and vice versa. So that's the kind of complexity and your transition of the human-machine interactions. So there are many other issues. This slide has a list of the issues we can think of, definitely more beyond that. Well, first of all, we know AI incompetency, right? We know we cannot have sufficient data to train AI, right, to cover all the conditions in the future. So because we will have deterministic conditions. So that's why human needs to be in the loop, especially during emergency for critical decision making, for safety and mission critical systems. I gave example of the human and AI bias, and also with our limited cognitive capacity, most time we have all information overload. And then given the opaque nature of how AI works with underlying algorithm models and the reasoning process, we need transparency in order for us as humans to understand what the AI is doing, what decisions, what recommendations, how they come up with the recommendations through the reasoning process, etc., and explain it to us when needed and how. Because it involves trust and accountability if anything happens badly, as those examples tell us. It involves the challenge of legal and ethical perspective and social too, and tells us we need to inform the governments how going to develop policy and regulations when you integrate AI or autonomous robots into our society. And then for us, how are we going to validate and verify AI requirements, AI functions, what the process is to integrate those technologies into our systems, into our society, with understanding of the strengths, limitations of both human and technologies, and the roles and responsibilities, who's doing what, when, where, why, sort of W5 questions, and when we need to control, transfer the control authority from human to machine, machine to human. So that's about the issues. Then who should care about that? Obviously, all of us, researchers, designers, and practitioners, especially for an integrated product team. You have program manager, designer, developer, and stakeholders, etc. You need to really answer those W5 questions. In terms of why you're going to use new technology, you need to understand the perceived benefits versus risks, and then what type of tasks or missions in the application domain you're going to ask the technology to do that for you, and where the working environment. We fly an aircraft in the sky, right? And then close to the aircraft, close to the New York City, etc. When, in terms of what time, how frequently, how long you're going to use that technology, or the combination of both human and technology together, and who are intended users, the stakeholders. Then how the technology is going to interact with you, how it's going to help you on the loop, in the loop, and off the loop, sort of the interactions. So that's what the methodology is about for the researchers, practitioners, designers, and for the integrated product team. So back to here, addressing complexity. We know technologies through industrial revolutions increase our productivities, enhance our capabilities, and also increase our capacities. Well, the complexity, we need to address that. So really, we need a paradigm shift design guidance. As we know that conventional technology-centered design approach started from the last century in the 50s after the Second World War, is not sufficient because it's focused on only technology. Later on, we know human needs. Right now, buzzword human-centered everywhere, even human-centered AI. So this is conventional. However, based on the story I just shared with you, people have pointed out already, human-centered design or user-centered design is not sufficient to cover, transcend the complexity of human-machine interactions, especially with increasing autonomous AI decision-making power. It's not sufficient. It's problematic or even harmful. Again, with the example I'll give to you, for example, by Boeing 737 MAX, right? Although human pilots realized the problem with AI, but during the tug of the war, the fighting began between human pilots and AI, the MCAS. The aircraft crashed with loss of 346 human lives. So it's harmful. That's why now we are entering into next stage of evolution, the interaction and the design approach. So it addresses really the question or reminder from Stephen Hawking. How can we be prepared to avoid the worst situation, AI going to destroy our civilization? AI is not a silver bullet, good for everything. Definitely not. So now I'm going to talk about interaction design approach briefly, how I'm going to address those issues, how we can be prepared. So with understanding of strengths and limitation of both human technologies, AI, autonomy, robots, this really is about a systematic and structured interaction process to guide the design and the development of systems for effective, responsible, and reliable human technology teaming, integrate AI autonomy robot into our operations, into our systems, into our society. It addresses risks, liabilities, ethics, safety, policy, regulations, etc., towards trustworthy human AI symbiotic systems. Truly, next stage of evolution of design methodology. Again, we also need to realize the complexity of human-machine interactions. I mentioned already in terms of role transition, like between on the loop, in the loop, to transfer authorities of control between human and machine. And we need to understand also why we need that now. This diagram shows the evolution of system design strategies, again, from mid of last century, 1950s, with technology-centered design approach. We had a task model for both the front-end human-machine interface and back-end of automation functions of the human-machine system. As you can see, at different stages, we can have different interface and automation methodology, but from mid of last century was focused on task model and focused on technology. So what we can ask technology to do it for us. Then later on, we realized that if we rely on technology too much, we may lose our skills. And there are other problems. So that's why we need to also focus on human. That's why we need to have task and user models. So that's why still we are seeing human-centered design or user-centered design. But as indicated already, it's not enough. It's not sufficient enough. We have to address teaming issues as I have listed in one of the slides before. So now we are entering into the next stage of the evolution of design methodology, which is interaction-centered design, towards an intelligent adaptive system. So it has to be context-based approach for safety, mission-critical, social technology systems. With those models, here is an architecture, a framework of intelligent adaptive system or human AI symbiotic system. It has basically 4 modules. On the right-hand side, on the top, we have situation assessment. Based on those models, task, machine, and world, we need to understand what's happening with our task, what's happening with our machine, what's happening in the working environment. And also, the bottom right is the use state assessment. We need to understand human state, cognitive state, or social, psychological, and physical psychological states through like brain-machine interface, EEGs, etc. Understand human behavior, understand human attention, understand our engagement, etc. Then we compare those changes with the built-in knowledge. That's why we have knowledge model for adaptation. If there are any data away from the ideal situation, then the system to trigger autonomously the intelligent behavior to compensate the changes and optimize the system performance and then the interaction between human and machine. Through the human-machine interface, you communicate with the system or AI agents. That's why you have interaction model and build up trust and maintain it. So to develop such system, we also have AI agent-based framework. As you can see here, at different levels, you will have multiple AI agents. Just to work like an organization, together you have different levels, and to achieve the collaboration between human and system. The philosophy of interactions and the design approach for intelligent adaptive system is to ensure the safety of the human AI symbiotic system. You may have best, most advanced technology or first invented technology. However, the best technology is the safest for us. As example, demonstrated to us already. During emergency, we need to trust human, because think about that. Are we training AI to land our aircraft in the river? We even have not trained the human to do that yet. It tells us during some emergency, human still in the loop. Trust or wisdom, we have asked. More importantly, also, with our experience, we have guts in our heart. We can land the aircraft safely in the river. So the design, again, not only for technology, but a partnership. It's a trusted, responsible, and collaborative partnership. So that's the philosophy of ICD design approach. Our approach has been reviewed by our academic peers. The left-hand side of the slide shows a quote from the book review on our book, actually, by a professor from the University of Birmingham about our approach. And also, our approach has guided many different technology development and test out in the real-world applications. We had a field test. That's why our industry partners, leaders actually, and also farm authorities also accept and recognize our approaches. Here you see the quote from Dr. Shimuro, used to be an executive at DARPA. Now he's president and CEO at Sol Technology. And also, our methodology has become guiding principles for the development of international standards. I don't have time to talk about that here now, but a related trust model, as our theme here is really ICD for trustworthy human AI teaming. So as you see from this triangle diagram, shows the 7 characteristics the AI system needs to exhibit to demonstrate the shared intention between us, human, and AI. And the intention has to be measurable through the performance, through the decision-making quality, and then the system needs to be adaptive to the changes of human operators, human users, the task itself, the working environment, and the system itself. And then you need to maintain the bi-directional communications between the human and AI agents. And then AI decision-making process, the reasoning process, and recommendation decisions need to be transparent to us when needed. Because we are in the fourth revolution, industrial revolution, in the cyber physical system. Everything is networked. Even now, we are networked through the internet. So we have to maintain the security of the system. So the model impacts here and our ICD methodology have guided the production of a United Nations white paper on human-machine interface in autonomous weapon systems. I worked with them, and also our approach and our system, intelligent adaptive systems, became a featured article in the SMC Society magazine. Okay, that's our approach. Now, I'll just briefly talk about example, how we build up system, address real problem, and the feedback. So this slide shows some, kind of challenges about VIP engagement. The diagram at the bottom of the slide shows a complicated process involving multiple users and steps about web engagement. If you have ever watched Eyes in the Sky, you understand completely about what I'm talking about, because it's a kind of complex and lengthy process, and easy to trigger the human errors. And then, if anything happened, operators going to lose their situational awareness and trust in the technology, and maybe cause potential mission failure, especially you operate overseas because you don't have enough knowledge about rules of engagement, international laws, policy regulations. So that's the challenges we are facing. So to address the challenge, we applied our ICD and impact model to develop a technology called authority pathway for web engagement, APWE. As shown,
sorry, Dr. Hao,
yeah.
you have 2 minutes. If you have something that you want to share, you can make it faster.
Okay, sure, do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this technology allows the interactions between human and AI agents easily, and then it was integrated into international command control system and tested out during an international autonomy strategy challenge joint exercise, and was priced by the commander of the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory at the 2021 Human Factors Economic Society annual conference about its utility, effectiveness, and interoperability. And here is the picture, shows that during an exercise, one person managing multiple systems in the air, on ground, at the sea, and the water, but also the pathway helped him to manage the information, manage the process, assisted his engagement following international laws and rules of engagement. And then here the user feedback, because APWE provided the transparency, visibility of the process engagement, and then supported the effective human autonomy teaming. It was regarded as the most trustworthy technology among all the international systems, because it's increased situation awareness with reduced workload and potential human error. So anyhow, here's the summary. In the past half hour, I just talked about the methodology for human AI symbiosis technology. So AI-enabled social technical system, as what technology we are addressing, and the issues about the teaming, and really a solution for researchers and designers, ICD approach. An example, I used with how we use that, and with some effects there, positive with feedback. Anyhow, finish up. As we know that we really cannot design a fully fail-proof AI-enabled system. So as a community here, from academia, industry, government, and then international professional organizations like us, IEEE SMC, how can we benefit from the evolution and advancement of the system design methodology to ensure the safe, responsible, and trustworthy human AI teaming to generate positive societal impact and then gain the public trust and acceptance. Anyhow, I'm going to stop here. I know that during the past half hour, I brought in so much information to you, given our limited cognitive capacity. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Give a clap to our presenter, Keynote. Yeah, I saw one hand raised up. Okay. Okay, by the way, thanks Dr. Ming for your nice presentation related to the teaming regarding the problem happened. We created the robot, and then we aim that the robot will help us. At the end, the robot destroy the human. Yeah, without too further ado, I'd like to open for one question.
Frank Flemish from Aachen University. Thank you, Ming, for this wonderful and very inspiring presentation. Good to see you again after your excellent conference in Toronto. I agree on a lot of things, especially on the symbiosis. Of course, we are also working on symbiotic systems. I do not disagree on your view on Hegel, but we have to discuss this maybe at a beer, because this takes a longer time. My question is about, you talked also about authority transfer between humans and AI and human and robots. And there is a concept used in NATO, we are exploring this, and also in Europe, meaningful human control. So for example, last week, the Center for Meaningful Human Control was opened at Delft University. And for the researchers there, control, and especially meaningful human control, is at the very core of this symbiosis. And I wonder why this did not show up in your, other than that wonderful presentation. And what is your take on meaningful human control? Could you comment on this? Thank you.
Oh, sure. Thank you. I was part of the NATO group before, with the Mark and the other people. But then I switched to the standardization organization. I'm kind of chairing the standard development for human autonomy teaming, and meaningful control is in our core. That's why we have developed NATO standards already. I don't have enough time to show here, but definitely this in our core business, and also our kind of central focus. And we have developed human system integration standard guidance for remotely piloted aircraft systems. We are developing human factors experimentation guidebook for RPAS. We are developing autonomy standard, and meaningful control is part of that. I'm leading that development now with the NATO team. But definitely, good question. Let's keep in touch. Definitely, we can involve you. When we have next meeting actually next week in Canada. I'm hosting the NATO meeting and going to discuss the development of the new standards.
Okay.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying this. Let's keep in touch about this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure,
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Okay, last question. I can offer one. Prof. Hybin.
Thank you, Ming. This is Hybin. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned interaction centered design, but if you want to talk about design, the interaction as a center, do you have a high level model for interaction, because it's required and a must if you follow this interaction center design.
Yeah, we have interaction model, as you can see. If I can come back to share my screen. Although it's not direct and it's kind of a high level, and then you see the IaaS architecture here. So we do have interaction model. Basically, it's part of here. I think you can see that. We do have interaction agents. You see, we have different agents, in terms of the human behavior, the perception, cognition, etc. And then it connects back to here about the human state, and then how we gather information in here, and those agents to monitor the user state in terms of their behavior, performance, engagement, attention, then feedback to the system through the interaction model, how they should interact with each other, and then to facilitate the interaction between human and machine through the human-machine interface.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this is another way to describe the interaction. Yeah, we talked before, like use the role model and the Chicago model, we use the messages to mean the interactions. That's also another way I recommend you and think. Okay, you can think and you can try to use the Chicago model to help. I believe the Chicago model can help you to design the interaction.
Yeah, definitely, because I have your book, Chicago, I read through. Thank you so much, Bing, for reminding me. Definitely, I think as we discussed before, we have multimodal interactions, right? Not only messages. I didn't have time to talk about the details of the pathway of web engagement. In that design, we have interaction model. We gather the information from not only message, but also AI agents, monitor all the different players, users, in terms of even the message in their chat room, and also the audio. We have speech to text speech, that kind of modality, text and audio, and then the video, perception, etc. So multimodal interactions we do. But thank you, definitely. We can talk more in terms of how we can integrate your Chicago model into our design. We have detailed, the impacts model in terms of build up the trust and maintain trust, calibrate and recalibrate trust through interactions between human and AI agents.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Ming for the nice presentation. We are very glad to have you in this keynote session. Okay, I would like to thanks also to the audience for your attending this keynote session. Again, give a big applause to our first keynote, Dr. Ming Hao.
Oh, thank you so much. I wish you have a very successful conference. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think actually Dr. Ming is very eager to come to this conference, but because the last minute, the technical problem, he not managed to come to this conference. Because I did email to him starting from the early of this year actually, but I think the time is not permitted. Yeah.
My apology. I have booked my tickets, but at last minute, I have other issues to deal with at work, so I couldn't leave because I have many different responsibilities, and then something came in as priority. Sorry about that, but again, wish you guys enjoy the conference and have a very successful conference.
Yeah, thank you. I think we feel that you are here. Okay, give a big applause to the Ming Hao again. Okay. I would like to again thanks to all attendees. Okay, just to have a brief about the overview of the program today. So at 12:30 you have a lunch in this hall. Okay, at 2 p.m. you will have joined the welcoming, the opening ceremony. Then at 3 p.m. we have a second keynote session by Prof. Maria. Will be chaired by Prof. Ming. Then tomorrow you have 2 keynotes again, keynote 3 and keynote 4. Then after that, those are joining the gala dinner, so you can join the gala dinner at 7 p.m. Okay, and those who wanted to purchase your gala dinner, also you can do at the registration counter. And then some of you are looking on the details about the program. Okay, you can check on the paper set also. They have a link for the details of the program. Okay, so you can check there. By the way, some of the presenters request to change the time and those things. So the latest timetable will be appear on the website. Okay, again, thanks to Dr. Min Hao and all the attendees. Okay, again, I hope you enjoy joining the e-session of the conference in the SMC 2024. Thank you. See you again on the next session. Bye-bye.
Thank you.